The first Bank of the United States was established in 1791, but it had folded in 1811 due to a lack of congressional support. Inflation in the years following the War of 1812 compelled President James Madison and Congress to establish a new national bank, which was chartered in 1816. The Second Bank of the United States was authorized by Congress to help control the unregulated issuance of currency by state banks. Many state-chartered banks resented the cautious policies of the Second Bank. Their directors sought assistance from the state legislators to restrict the operations of the Bank of the United States. Maryland set an example by imposing a tax on all banks not chartered by the state. James McCulloch, a cashier of the Baltimore branch, refused to pay the Maryland tax. The issue went to the Supreme Court.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that, yeah. Here comes the.
Hey, you ready for this, man? Let's go. Let's do this. Hey, look. Hey, losers. Hey, ready.
All rise to the judge. You may all be seated. Now, we all know why you're here. Maryland, let's hear your side.
Your Honor, as a sovereign state, we are completely vested in our people and have complete authority to regulate all tax institutions and businesses within our borders.
The regulation of banks has been long accepted as a necessary means to prevent financial abuses. Since the federal government has created a number of statutes to regulate state banks, then what should prevent us from regulating federal banks? Also...
Wait, hold up. If y'all can tax the banks, y'all would also be able to tax the mails, the custom houses, and the military installations, and in effect, destroy our whole national government. What? And this, I'm sure, was not intended by the people.
Negative. The Constitution is silent on all subjects of the bank and do not specifically state that the federal government authorized the charter of the bank.
Therefore, the Bank of the United States is unconstitutional.
Fool, you still don't get it. Although the Bank of the United States is not outlined specifically in the enumerated powers of the national government, the implied powers are those necessary to carry out the enumerated powers.
Negative. The 10th Amendment gives the states those powers that are not delegated by the national government. Therefore, the 10th Amendment became the states' guaranteed rights and state governments' preserved powers.
Nah, man, I don't see with you. The Supremacy Clause in the Constitution clearly states that there are 3 items that are the supreme laws of the land. 1, the Constitution. 2, the laws of the national government which are not otherwise unconstitutional. And 3, treaties that are only made by the national government. If I may add, the last clause of the Constitution gives Congress powers that are necessary and proper for carrying into the execution foregoing powers. So what do you say now, huh?
Order. Order in the court. I've heard enough from both sides to make my final decision. My final decision is that the court asserts the supreme power of the federal Constitution over the states. Lastly, the government of the Union, though limited in its power, is supreme within its sphere of action. Case adjourned.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the field.
Well, there you have it, the McCulloch versus Maryland case and the Supreme Court's decision. Throughout the case, the participants have shown their professionality to be kept intact. Hi, ma'am. The hot topic right now is the McCulloch versus Maryland case. What's your response?
Well, at first I had my doubts about the bank's constitutionality, but then I realized that it's needed for our financial stability. However, I'm still apprehensive about how the federal government could justify a loose interpretation of the Constitution.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ma'am. We were just looking for a senior citizen's response to the McCulloch versus Maryland case. What's your response?
Well, hello there. Ooh, am I on camera?
Yes, you are.
Oh, well, okay then. I would like to say that this case is the bomb diggity. My great-great-great-grandchildren from Australia tells me that this case is the best guideline that represents the Commonwealth, federal government, and Australian states. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wait, I would like to have a shout out to my grandson Bob, my granddaughter Nancy,
No, we have to go, ma'am.
No.
Thank you so much for your response.
No.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
No.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.